This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Leanne Howlett. How to Cook Fish by Olive Green. Section 18. 80 Ways to Cook Halibut. Broiled halibut. 1. Cut into steaks, dust with salt and pepper, cover with melted butter, and let stand for half an hour. Dredge with flour and broil. Serve with a garnish of sliced lemon and parsley. Broiled halibut. 2. Freshen salt halibut for an hour or two in cold water. Drain, season with pepper, and wrap each slice in tough paper well buttered, twisting the ends. Broil for 8 minutes. Take from the papers and serve with any preferred sauce. Broiled halibut. 3. Season with salt and pepper and broil on a buttered gridiron over a clear fire. Serve with plenty of melted butter. Broiled halibut. 4. Sprinkle halibut steaks with salt, rub thoroughly with melted butter and broil until brown. Garnish with lemon and parsley. Broiled halibut. 5. Rub halibut steaks with olive oil and lemon juice and broil over a clear fire. Season with pepper and salt and serve with melted butter. Broiled halibut a la Boston. Broil one side of halibut steaks until heated through, then turn, and spread the other side with a paste of butter, flour, chopped onion, and tomato pulp. Cook until brown and serve with the crust side up. Halibut a la rarebit. Sprinkle 2 halibut steaks with salt and pepper, brush with melted butter, and bake until done. Arrange on a platter, pour over a Welsh rarebit, and serve. Halibut a la Majestic. Skin and bone halibut steaks and cut into fillets. Lay in a buttered baking dish, spread with butter, and add a wineglassful of white wine and a little boiling water. Cover with buttered paper and set into a hot oven until cooked. Take the pan out, cover the fish with a layer of sweet Spanish peppers, spread with cream sauce, sprinkle with crumbs and grated cheese, dot with butter, and brown in a hot oven. Serve in the same dish. Halibut a la Conant. In a buttered baking pan, put 3 thin slices of fat salt pork, 3 slices of onion, and a bit of bay leaf. On top of these lay a halibut steak and spread over it 1 tablespoonful each of butter and flour blended together. Cover with buttered cracker crumbs and small strips of salt pork and bake for 20 minutes. Garnish with lemon and parsley. Halibut a la Maître d'Hôtel. Soak 2 halibut steaks for an hour in lemon juice, seasoned with salt, pepper, and minced parsley. Mix together 2 tablespoonfuls of butter, 1 tablespoonful of flour, and 2 cupfuls of boiling water. Cook until thick, stirring constantly. Put the slices of halibut into a buttered pan, cover with the sauce, and bake for 20 minutes, basting as required. Serve with any preferred sauce. Halibut a la Creole. 1. Wash a thick piece of halibut, put on a buttered baking dish, and season with salt and pepper. Cover with finely minced garlic, add 1 cupful of canned tomatoes and enough boiling water to keep from burning. Bake until done, basting as required. Halibut a la Creole. 2. Lay halibut steak for an hour in oil and vinegar, adding chopped onion and minced parsley to the marinade. Drain and put the fish into a baking pan. Turn over it a sauce made of 1 cupful of strained tomatoes, a tablespoonful of butter, a heaping teaspoonful of flour, and salt, paprika, and grated onion to season. Cover closely and bake until tender. Sprinkle with grated cheese and cook for 5 minutes longer. Transfer the fish carefully to a hot platter and pour the sauce around it. Halibut a la Creole. 3. Boil together a pint of stewed tomatoes, a cupful of water, a slice of onion, and 3 cloves. Blend together 2 tablespoonfuls of butter and 1 of flour and stir into the sauce when it boils. Season with salt and pepper and cook for 10 minutes. Strain and cool. Skin the fish according to directions given in the recipe for Baked Halibut I. Put on a buttered tin sheet in a baking pan, season with salt and pepper, and bake, basting frequently with the sauce. Baked Halibut I. Take 3 or 4 pounds of the fish and remove the dark skin by dipping it into boiling water and scraping. Rub the flesh with salt and pepper, put it into a baking pan, and add enough milk to cover the bottom of the pan an inch deep. Bake for an hour, basting frequently with the milk. Take out the fish, remove the bone and skin, and serve with egg sauce. Baked Halibut II. Soak 6 pounds of halibut in salt water for 2 hours. Wipe dry and score the outer skin. Bake for an hour in a moderately hot oven, basting with melted butter and hot water. Add a little boiling water to the gravy, a tablespoonful of walnut catsup, a teaspoonful of Worcestershire sauce, salt and pepper to season, and the juice of a lemon. Thicken with browned flour, rubbed smooth with a little cold water. Baked Halibut III. Take a thick cut of halibut and soak for half an hour in salted water. Put into a baking pan with 2 slices of carrot, a slice of onion, and half a bay leaf. Pour over it a cupful of boiling water and 2 tablespoonfuls of melted butter. Bake for an hour, basting frequently, and serve with any preferred sauce. Baked Halibut IV. Lay a thick piece of halibut into a buttered pan, cover with thin slices of salt pork, and dredge with salt, pepper, and flour. Cover the bottom of the pan with boiling water and bake for an hour. Baste with the gravy in the pan and melted butter, adding salt, pepper, and flour as needed. A bay leaf, a sprig of parsley, 2 slices of carrot, and half an onion or a clove of garlic may be put into the dripping pan. Baked Halibut V. Prepare according to directions given for Baked Halibut II, seasoning the gravy with lemon and onion juice, celery salt, and half a cupful of claret. Baked Halibut with lobster sauce. Put a piece of halibut on a buttered fish sheet, sprinkle with salt and pepper, and dredge with flour. Cover the bottom of the pan with water, add a sprig of parsley, a slice of onion, 2 slices of carrot, 3 tablespoonfuls of butter, and a bit of bay leaf. Bake for an hour, basting as required, and serve with lobster sauce. Baked Halibut with tomato sauce. Cook together for 20 minutes 2 cupfuls of tomatoes, 1 cupful of water, a slice of onion, 3 cloves, and a teaspoonful of sugar. Cook together 3 tablespoonfuls each of butter and flour, stir into the hot mixture, and cook until thick. Strain, and pour half of the sauce around 2 pounds of halibut placed on a buttered tin sheet. Bake for 35 minutes, basting often. Transfer to a hot platter and pour the remaining sauce around. Baked Halibut with cream. Cover the fish with cream sauce, then with crumbs, dot with butter, and bake. Baked Fillets of Halibut au gratin. Bake half a dozen fillets of halibut for half an hour, seasoning with salt and pepper and basting with milk. Cover with a cream sauce to which half a cupful of grated cheese has been added, then with fried crumbs. Reheat and serve in the same dish. Baked halibut steaks with oysters. Soak 2 halibut steaks for an hour in a marinade of oil and vinegar. Lay thin slices of salt pork upon a buttered tin sheet and spread thin slices of salt pork upon it. Lay one of the steaks upon the pork. Dip oysters in melted butter, then in cracker crumbs, and cover the steak with them. Put the other steak on top, cover with thin slices of pork, and bake for 40 minutes, basting with the juice in the pan or with butter melted in hot water. A few minutes before taking up, remove the pork from the top and cover with cracker crumbs and melted butter. Serve with hollandaise sauce to which parboiled oysters have been added. Baked Fillets of Halibut. Skin, bone, and fillet 2 halibut steaks. Dip in melted butter, season with salt, pepper, lemon, and onion juice. Roll up each fillet, fasten with a wooden toothpick, and bake for 20 minutes, basting with butter melted in hot water. Serve with any preferred sauce. Baked Halibut Steaks I. Put a halibut steak into a buttered baking dish, and spread with a dressing made of 1 cupful of crumbs, 1 tablespoonful of butter, and grated onion, minced parsley, grated nutmeg, salt, and red and black pepper to season. Lay another steak on top, season with salt and pepper, dot with butter, and bake for half an hour. Baked halibut steaks 2. Wash the steaks and soak for an hour in olive oil and lemon juice. Put into a buttered baking dish, sprinkle with minced onion and parsley, and pour over a cream sauce, using white stock instead of milk if preferred. Put a layer of flaked cooked halibut into a buttered baking dish, season with salt, pepper, and grated nutmeg, add a layer of chopped mushrooms and a few tablespoonfuls of the sauce. Repeat until the dish is full, having sauce on top. Sprinkle with crumbs, dot with butter, and brown in the oven. Baked halibut steaks 3. Trim the steaks, lay them in a baking pan, season with salt and pepper, dredge with flour, dot with butter, pour over 1 cupful of cream and bake for 15 minutes in a quick oven, basting with cream. Baked chicken halibut. Prepare a dressing according to directions given in the preceding recipe. Stuff a chicken halibut, sew up and bake in a buttered pan, basting with melted butter and salted hot water. Serve with hollandaise sauce. Baked halibut steaks with tomatoes. Soak the steaks for an hour in olive oil and lemon juice. Cook together for 15 minutes a can of tomatoes and a seeded chopped green pepper, half an onion, a teaspoonful of sugar, and pepper and salt to season. Rub through a colander and cool. Put the drained fish in a buttered baking pan, pour the sauce over, and bake. Deviled halibut 1. Flake cold cooked halibut. Make a forcemeat of breadcrumbs, the yolks of 2 eggs, a tablespoonful of melted butter and salt, paprika, grated onion, and minced parsley to season. Mix the fish, moisten with oyster liquor, and fill buttered individual shells. Cover with crumbs, season with salt and pepper, dot with butter, and brown in the oven. Deviled halibut 2. Flake a pound of cooked halibut. Mix together the pounded yolks of 3 hard-boiled eggs, 1 tablespoonful of olive oil, 2 teaspoonfuls of sugar, a teaspoonful of made mustard, a pinch of cayenne, a teaspoonful of salt, a teaspoonful of Worcestershire sauce, half a teaspoonful of anchovy paste, and enough vinegar to make a smooth paste. Mix thoroughly with the fish and garnish with hard-boiled eggs sliced or quartered. Molded halibut with green peas. Chop a pound of raw halibut very fine. Add to it the yolk of an egg well beaten, and salt, red and white pepper to season. Add a teaspoonful of cornstarch rubbed smooth with 2/3 of a cupful of milk and 1/3 of a cupful of cream, whipped solid. Fill buttered individual molds, put into a pan of hot water, and bake in a slow oven for 20 minutes. Turn out on a platter and surround with cooked peas, reheated in cream sauce. Sandwiches of chicken halibut. Cut chicken halibut into thin fillets. Put together in pairs with chopped oysters between, rub to a paste with seasoned crumbs and cream. Rub with melted butter, sprinkle with lemon juice, and season with salt and pepper. Put into a shallow pan with half a cupful of white wine and bake for 20 minutes. Arrange on a platter, sprinkle with minced parsley, and serve with hollandaise sauce. Turbans of halibut. Have a slice of halibut cut 2 inches thick. Take off the skin and cut into cylinders with a small tin baking powder box. Steam until firm and serve with a cream sauce flavored with parsley and lemon. Or bake in milk and serve with cream sauce, using a stewed and strained tomato for half of the liquid. Halibut and lobster à la hollandaise. Reheat equal quantities of boiled and flaked lobster and halibut in hollandaise sauce. Halibut steak à la jardinière. 1. Soak halibut steaks for an hour in salt and water. Wipe dry and rub with melted butter. Butter a china baking dish, sprinkle chopped onion on the bottom, and put in the steaks. On top put a boiled carrot cut into dice, half a dozen sliced tomatoes, a shredded green pepper, and half a cupful of green peas. Add enough salted boiling water to keep the fish from scorching, put a tablespoonful of butter on top, cover, and bake until done. Drain the liquor carefully from the pan, add 3 tablespoonfuls of white wine, and thicken with a teaspoonful of butter rolled in browned flour. Serve separately as a sauce. Halibut à la jardinière, 2. Cover 2 slices of halibut with a chopped onion, 2 tomatoes sliced, a shredded and seeded green pepper, a dozen chopped almonds, a tablespoonful of melted butter, and salt to season. Bake for half an hour, pour over the sauce from the pan, and serve. Halibut and cucumbers. Cook the halibut until tender in court bouillon, drain and flake with a fork. Make a cream sauce, seasoning with curry powder. Pare, cut in halves, and parboil in beef stock as many cucumbers as are required. Scoop out the inside of each half, fill with the creamed fish, cover with crumbs, dot with butter, and bake in the oven until the cucumbers are soft. Serve with a garnish of lemon and parsley. Halibut with anchovy sauce. 4 tablespoonfuls of butter, 4 tablespoonfuls of flour, 1/8 teaspoonful of pepper, 1/2 teaspoonful of salt, 2 hard-boiled eggs chopped, 2 cupfuls of cream, 2 drops of Tabasco, 1 teaspoonful of anchovy essence, 1 1/2 cupfuls of cold cooked halibut, flaked. Mix the ingredients in the order given and cook for 10 minutes. Serve with brown bread spread with cheese and chopped olives. Halibut au gratin. Flake cold cooked halibut and mix with an equal quantity of cream sauce. Put into buttered individual shells, sprinkle with crumbs, dot with butter, and brown in the oven. Escalloped halibut. Prepare the fish according to directions given in the preceding recipe, and add the yolks of 2 eggs well beaten. Fill a baking dish using alternate layers of fish and grated cheese. Cover with crumbs, dot with butter, and brown in the oven. Halibut steak à la Flamande. Butter a baking pan, sprinkle with chopped onion, and lay a halibut steak upon it. Pour over the beaten yolk of an egg, season with salt and pepper, add the juice of half a lemon and 1 tablespoonful of butter cut into small pieces. Bake for 30 minutes. Add to the liquid remaining in the pan enough boiling water to make the required quantity of sauce and thicken it with browned flour. Creamed halibut. Flake cold cooked halibut and mix with cream sauce. Add a tablespoonful of minced parsley, the juice of half a lemon, and 3 tablespoonfuls of grated Parmesan cheese. Spread on buttered toast, sprinkle with minced parsley, and serve. Halibut salad. Take cold cooked halibut cut small, salt and pepper lightly, and sprinkle with lemon juice. For the dressing, boil 3 large peeled potatoes until mealy. Drain, let dry, and beat to a dry powder with a fork. Add 1 saltspoonful of salt, the same of mustard and pepper, 1 rounding teaspoonful of powdered sugar, and 2 tablespoonfuls of vinegar beaten in gradually. Pour over the halibut and decorate with lettuce or green tops. Turkish halibut. Place on the bottom of a baking pan 2 or 3 slices of onion, then a cutlet of halibut, and put a tablespoonful of butter cut into small bits over the top of the fish. Cut 3 skinned tomatoes into quarters, slice a sweet green pepper into ribbons, and put the tomatoes and pepper on the fish. Put the pan on the shelf of the oven to cook first the vegetables, but do not let it remain there long enough to discolor or change their shape. Then remove it to the bottom of the oven, baste it well, and finish the cooking. When done, place it carefully on a hot dish and pour over it the juice from the pan. Halibut pie. Butter a china baking dish and sprinkle with chopped shallots and parsley. Add a layer of chopped halibut and salt, pepper, grated nutmeg, chopped shallots, and parsley to season. Dot with butter and cover with sliced hard-boiled eggs. Add a cupful of cream sauce and 2 wineglassfuls of white wine. Wet the edge, cover with pastry, gash, brush with egg, and bake for an hour and a half in a moderate oven. Make a hole in the center and moisten the pie with milk if it becomes too dry. Steamed halibut. Put the prepared fish on a plate, cover with a cloth, and put in a steamer. Steam for 2 hours and pour over an egg sauce. Halibut mousselines. Mince enough uncooked halibut to make 2 cupfuls. Add 1 cupful of soft breadcrumbs and 1/2 cupful of cream. Press through a colander, season with salt, pepper, lemon juice, a suspicion of mace, and Worcestershire sauce. Fold in carefully the beaten whites of 4 eggs. Turn into buttered molds, round-bottomed ones, and steam 1/2 hour. Turn out on separate plates, surround with sauce, make a stock of the fish bones and water, and add it to 2 tablespoonfuls of butter and 2 of flour cooked together. There should be 1 1/2 cupfuls of stock. Add 1/2 cupful of cream, and when boiling add salt, pepper, and 1 tablespoonful of grated horseradish soaked in lemon juice. Halibut steaks à la maître d'hôtel. Season the steaks with salt and pepper and rub thoroughly with oil. Broil in a double broiler and serve with melted butter, minced parsley, and lemon juice. Timbale of halibut. Chop 1/2 pound of raw halibut and press it through a sieve. Mix a cupful of breadcrumbs to a smooth paste with 1/2 cupful of milk and cook until it thickens. Take from the fire, add the fish pulp and the stiffly beaten whites of 5 eggs. Fill buttered timbale molds with the mixture and cook in a pan of hot water in a moderate oven for 20 minutes. Serve with cream or tomato sauce. Fillets of halibut à la poulet. Free the fish of skin and bones and cut it into fillets. Sprinkle with lemon juice, salt, and pepper. Cover with sliced onion and let stand for 1/2 hour. Remove the onion, dip into melted butter, roll up each piece, and fasten with a wooden toothpick. Dip once more into the butter, dredge thickly with flour, and bake for 20 minutes in a moderate oven. Cut the whites of 3 hard-boiled eggs into rings and arrange around the fillets after taking up. Sprinkle the grated yolks over the fish and serve with cream sauce. Cold halibut fillet. Prepare 1/2 dozen fillets of halibut, remove the skin and bone, and boil in court bouillon. Drain and sprinkle with olive oil, lemon juice, minced parsley, and chopped onion. Serve with tartar sauce. Fillets of halibut with tomato sauce. Prepare the fillets according to directions previously given, and bake, basting with tomato juice and melted butter. Serve with tomato sauce. Fillets of halibut stuffed with oysters. Prepare the fillets according to directions given for fillets of halibut à la poulet. Roll each one around an oyster, fasten with a wooden toothpick, and bake as usual. Fillets of halibut with brown sauce. Put the seasoned fillets into a buttered pan with sufficient boiling water and bake, basting as required. Drain off the water, add to it a teaspoonful of beef extract, and thicken with browned flour. Pour the sauce over the fish, cover with buttered crumbs, and bake until the crumbs are brown. Fillets of halibut with potato balls. Cut the solid meat into fillets, seasoning with salt, pepper, onion, and lemon juice. Brown slightly in pork fat, then place in a baking dish. Prepare a cream sauce, adding to it a slice each of carrot and onion, a bay leaf, and minced parsley, and grated nutmeg to season. Strain over the fish and bake for 12 minutes. Serve with a border of steamed potato balls. Fried fillets of halibut, 1. Prepare the fillets according to directions previously given and soak for an hour in a marinade of oil, vinegar, and minced onion. Drain, dip in batter, then in crumbs, and fry in deep fat. Fried fillets of halibut, 2. Clean and fillet the fish. Dip into beaten egg, then into crumbs, and fry in deep fat. Serve with melted butter, lemon juice, and minced parsley. Mayonnaise of halibut with cucumbers. Boil or steam halibut steaks according to directions previously given. Remove the skin, cover with thinly sliced cucumbers, and pour over a mayonnaise dressing. Halibut loaf. Cook together 2 tablespoonfuls of butter and 1 tablespoonful of flour. Add 1/2 can of chopped mushrooms, 2 cupfuls of chopped cooked halibut, pepper, salt, onion juice, and anchovy paste to season, and 2 eggs beaten smooth with 4 tablespoonfuls of cream. Pour into a buttered mold, cover, set into a pan of hot water, and cook steadily for an hour. Turn out and garnish with potato balls. Halibut and eggs. Flake a pound of cooked halibut and mix with 6 eggs well beaten. Season with salt and pepper and cook in butter, stirring constantly until the eggs set. Serve on buttered toast. Halibut and ramekins. Prepare the fish according to directions given for halibut and cucumbers. Fill buttered individual dishes, cover with crumbs, dot with butter, and bake in the oven. Halibut fish balls. Flake cold cooked halibut and mix with an equal quantity of mashed potatoes beaten very light with egg. Season with salt, pepper, and melted butter. Shape into balls, dip into melted butter, dredge with flour, and fry in deep fat. Breaded halibut. Prepare according to directions given for halibut à la Creole I, sprinkling with minced parsley as well as garlic. Cover with crumbs, dot with butter, and bake in the oven. Coquilles of halibut. Flake cold cooked halibut and mix with cream sauce. Season with mushroom catsup, fill buttered individual shells, cover with fried breadcrumbs, and heat thoroughly in the oven. Halibut with caper sauce. Boil the halibut in salted and acidulated water. Pour over a caper sauce. Halibut pudding. 3 pounds of halibut, 6 eggs, 1/4 pound butter, 1 quart sweet milk, 2 tablespoonfuls of cornstarch, 1 tablespoonful of flour. Skin and bone the fish and run through a meat chopper. Add flour and cornstarch, mixing well. Add butter, rubbing all to a cream. Next the eggs, one at a time, thoroughly beating after each one. Add milk gradually, 1/4 teaspoon pepper and 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. Beat until it thickens. Grease and line a deep baking pan with browned breadcrumbs. Fill with the fish mixture and sprinkle crumbs on top. Bake for an hour and a half in a moderate oven. Cover it first, then remove the cover and let it brown well. Boiled halibut I. Put 2 pounds of halibut into a saucepan and cover it with fresh water. Add a sliced onion, half a carrot sliced, 2 tablespoonfuls of vinegar, a small bunch of parsley, a pinch of powdered sweet herbs, and 2 tablespoonfuls of salt. Simmer until done, drain, and serve with melted butter to which a little anchovy paste has been added. Boiled halibut II. Rub the fish with salt, sprinkle with lemon juice, and keep in a cool place for an hour. Cover with cold water, bring quickly to the boil, and simmer until done. Serve with egg sauce. Boiled halibut steaks au gratin. Soak the steaks in salted water for an hour, drain, and sprinkle with oil and lemon juice. Put into a covered baking pan, sprinkle with chopped onion and a tablespoonful of melted butter, and add a cupful of boiling water. Cover and cook until nearly done, then uncover, sprinkle with crumbs, dot with butter, and bake brown. Serve with tartar sauce. Boiled halibut steaks. Cover the steaks with court bouillon or hot water, and add a slice each of carrot, onion, and celery, a bay leaf, 4 cloves, 6 peppercorns, and the juice of half a lemon. Simmer until done, drain and serve with any preferred sauce. Boiled halibut à la béchamel. Prepare boiled halibut according to directions previously given, and serve with béchamel sauce, seasoning with salt, pepper, and grated nutmeg. Add 4 tablespoonfuls of butter and a pinch of sugar, and strain over the fish. Boiled halibut with parsley sauce. Boil the halibut in salted and acidulated water. For the sauce, boil a cupful of chopped parsley for 5 minutes in a cupful of water. Strain the water through a sieve, and thicken with a tablespoonful of butter blended with a tablespoonful of flour. Take from the fire, season with salt, pepper, and grated nutmeg, add the yolks of 2 eggs well beaten, a little minced parsley, 2 tablespoonfuls of butter, and a few drops of lemon juice or vinegar. Strain over the fish and serve. Carbonade of halibut. Skin the halibut and cut into large cubes. Dip into melted butter, seasoned with salt, pepper, and onion juice, then into beaten egg, then into crumbs. Put into a buttered baking pan, spread with egg and butter, and cook in a hot oven for 12 minutes. Serve with hollandaise sauce. Fried halibut I. Cut into steaks and sauté in butter in a frying pan, or dip in egg and crumbs and fry in deep fat. Fried halibut II. Season halibut steaks with salt and pepper, dredge with flour, and sauté in salt pork fat. Serve the pork with the fish. Fried halibut III. Soak halibut steaks for an hour in a marinade of oil and vinegar. Drain, dredge with seasoned flour, dip in beaten egg, then in seasoned crumbs. Fry in deep fat. Fried halibut with tomato sauce. Remove the skin and bones from small halibut steaks, dip in milk, roll in seasoned flour, and fry light brown. Serve with a sauce of stewed, strained, and seasoned tomatoes thickened with butter and flour cooked together. Escalloped Halibut au Parmesan. Cut in thin slices 4 pounds of halibut meat. Put into a buttered pan with salt, pepper, grated nutmeg, and chopped onions to season. Cover, cook slowly, and then drain. Cook together 2 tablespoonfuls each of butter and flour, add a quart of milk and cook until thick, stirring constantly. Take from the fire, add the yolks of 4 eggs well beaten and half a cupful of grated cheese. Put into a buttered baking dish a layer of fish, cover it with sauce, and repeat until the dish is full, having sauce on top. Sprinkle thickly with crumbs and grated cheese, dot with butter, and bake in a moderate oven. Breaded halibut steaks. Dip halibut steaks into egg and breadcrumbs and broil on a buttered gridiron, basting with melted butter or olive oil. Halibut timbales. Chop fine a slice of raw halibut and rub it through a sieve. Season 1 cupful of the pulp with salt, red pepper, and onion juice, then add gradually the stiffly beaten whites of 4 eggs and 1 cupful of whipped cream. Fill buttered timbale molds, cover with buttered paper, and bake for 15 minutes in a pan of hot water. Turn out and serve with any preferred sauce. Halibut au poulet. Melt 1/4 of a cupful of butter and season it with salt, pepper, grated onion, and lemon juice. Dip prepared fillets of halibut into it, roll up, and fasten with a wooden toothpick. Dredge with flour and bake, basting with melted butter. Arrange on a platter, pour over a cream sauce, and sprinkle thickly with chopped hard-boiled eggs. End of section 18.